Hello, Craig Howard, happy to be with you again today. You know, in my lifetime, I've known some really strong individuals. I've known people who were bodybuilders. I've known people who were power lifters. I've known people who were just incredibly strong. At a Youth for Christ rally one time, many years ago, I met a man by the name of Paul Anderson, who at the time held the Guinness Book of World Records for lifting the most weight off of the ground, and I forget how much it was. It was in the tonnage. You know, it was measured in tonnage. I've known guys that could take great big thick phone books and rip them in half. I've seen guys bench press 450 pounds. You know, I've met some really strong people, but the one thing about every one of those people that I met is that they didn't get that strong just by chance. They worked at it. They exercised their muscles and saw their muscles grow and grow and grow until they reached some literally very amazing strength levels. And that's the way it works with strength. If you don't exercise, if you don't work those muscles, then you're not going to get strong. If you just sit around all the time and don't do anything, the muscles atrophy, they become weak, you lose your strength. You never gain strength by just sitting around and talking about wanting to be stronger. You never get strength by watching an exercise show on television. You know, it doesn't work that way. Well, the same is true with faith. You know, faith is very much like a muscle. It's something that, you know, people say, oh, I have faith, but their faith really never amounts to much. They never do anything with it. The Bible teaches us a little bit something about faith. It says in James chapter 2, what does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one says to them, depart in peace, be warm, be filled, but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Thus also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. I can talk about my faith in Christ, but if I never get out and use it, if I never do anything with it, if all I do is sit around and talk about how much faith I have, if I talk about, you know, how much I enjoy prayer but never spend time praying, if I talk about how wonderful it is to see people that have done amazing things in Christ, you know, people talk about what made Billy Graham such an amazing pastor. It wasn't just his, or not pastor, but evangelist, wasn't just his preaching. It was the faith he had to say, Lord, I'm going to step out and I'm going to do something for you. And he just kept taking these huge steps of faith. I've taken a lot of steps of faith in my lifetime and want to continue to do that. There's been times, I remember the first time I was going to take kids on a mission trip. I was like, where are we going to come up with the money to do this, to take all these kids? And I just prayed. I said, God, you got to show me. And then we got busy doing things and writing letters and working at it, and God brought the increase. Faith requires action. For you to just sit around and say you have faith in God, but you don't do anything to serve Him, you don't do anything in your church, you don't do anything in any sort of ministry, you're fooling yourself. And your faith is growing weaker and weaker by the day. It requires exercise. It requires the exercise of works that puts that faith into action and puts it into motion, that gets it to the place where you really can have faith that in a small way, in a unique way, in this world's way, will move mountains. So today, what are you doing to exercise your faith? Maybe it's just taking out of the limited resources that you have and trying to help somebody else. I don't know. It depends on what God's laid on your heart, because God will direct you as to where He wants to use you and how He wants to use your faith, but you have to do something with it. You can't just take the problem to your preacher and say, preacher, here's the situation. Can you do something about it? That's not faith. Faith is saying, here's the situation. What can I do? God, show me what I can do to make a difference. want you to think about that today. I want you to ask God, God, how do you want to use me? And then be willing to put your faith to work. Well, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day today, a day filled with faith challenges that sees you grow just a little bit. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.